This is just the most ridiculous. It's democracy given physical form. And he is an Elgin city resident's speech during a city council meeting. If you're quiet now, you would have been quiet in 1940. It's something he'll say, as obviously it's a quote. We'll get to that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Van Dyke. I've been a lifelong resident of Elgin. I've worked in healthcare for the past 17 years, probably cared for the loved ones of people in this room.
Right there, he's trying to ingratiate himself to you. Oh, I've probably saved your daughter from dying to cancer. Have you? Have you done anything for any of them? You say healthcare. That's the best way you could describe it? There's lots of different things of healthcare. Are you like a dental hygienist? Did you save one of their kids' lives by flossing their teeth? I mean, what does healthcare mean exactly? I mean, especially because apparently giving preteens puberty blockers is healthcare according to certain people. Giving people abortion pills is healthcare according to some people. What is healthcare? And why are you trying to ingratiate yourselves to them within the first 10 seconds of the video?
Today I wanted to talk about ICE. My parents worked hard, taught me to stand up for others, and raised me to be a good person. A good person doesn't sit by or look away while their neighbors are being kidnapped.
Abducted. And that's only if it's illegal. They're not kidnapped because they're not children. And they're not abducted if it's legal. You can argue about the rights and wrongs of it, the morality of it, but if it's legal in the government, it's not kidnapping or abduction. It's an arrest.
No amount of economic promises would make this okay. We have to stop.
That would make what okay, exactly? A kidnapping? But you're basing that statement on a lie to begin with.
Stop being tolerant of intolerance.
And that is one of the most obnoxious things people say. We have to stop being tolerant of intolerance. They think they've played like the Uno reverse card and they're going to have a viral hit video with 100 million clicks. Like, what you've just said is we're going to fight fire with fire. You've said that because they're being intolerant, we get to be intolerant. But you're the one who decides what tolerance and intolerance is. So by that measurement, you could say that anything is intolerant, and you could justify you attacking anybody based off of that. I mean, you're making up the rules. You can say anyone's intolerant over anything, and keep that in mind at the end, because he starts to mention lines in the sand.
Terrible things are happening outside.
According to?
Poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes.
Poor, helpless people. It's nothing but empathy bait, sympathy bait, really. Poor, helpless people having terrible things happen to them. They're being kidnapped. Is that really what's happening? You mean people who invaded the country illegally are being detained, and some people who are citizens are being detained under suspicion? That seems to be what's happening. There are mistakes. Don't get me wrong, there are mistakes, but this guy's making out as if there's no such thing as an illegal immigrant.
Families are torn apart.
Families are torn apart. Do you think this guy, who's going to quote Anne Frank and stuff, do you think this guy would have cared about Adolf Hitler's family being torn apart? Do you think he would have cared about the actual Nazis' families being torn apart? No, he cares about his family being torn apart, or the people who he's empathizing with, he's sympathizing with. He cares about their families being torn apart, which is what the Democrats have always done, haven't they? I mean, LGBTQ is about gay people, trans people, whatever. Black Lives Matter was about black people. The war on women and abortion rights and all of that was about women, right? I mean, abortion rights, or reproductive freedom, as they call it, that wasn't about gay people. Gay people, LGBTQ, whatever, that wasn't about black people. Black Lives Matter. All of this was people making their own lives better for the sake of themselves.
Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find that their parents have disappeared. Anne Frank, 1943.
To quote Anne Frank, you can't just quote people from history as if that makes you correct. Like, I'm not gonna get into how this isn't Nazi Germany, and those people, the disappeared parents of this fictional child, they that was hiding in the attic or whatever, that these people were taken off to a gas chamber or something, okay? And Anne Frank, she's been turned into some sort of like weird idol by these people. She's nailed up on a cross that they've made, and they're hoisting her up as an icon for them to rally behind, as if she was never wrong about anything or something. Like, they just quote Anne Frank, and it's like the word of God. Well, oh, Anne Frank said it, so it must be true. I'm not saying Nazis are good or saying Anne Frank is bad. I'm just saying that the way they approach this is like, imagine if someone just quoted the Bible and said, well, you're wrong because Jesus said this. Well, wouldn't you feel like, oh, well, that's not fair? I mean, what do you say to that? What do you say in response to someone quoting a dead person as if that objectively makes everything they do automatically correct?
If you're quiet now, you would have been quiet in 1940.
And there it is. If you're quiet now, you would have been quiet in 1940. He's right there. What he is doing is saying, if you don't obey me, you're a Nazi. If you don't do as I command you, you're a Nazi. He's delivering authoritarian single-state commandments and demanding that you obey those commandments, or else he's going to classify you as an undesirable. Not just an undesirable, but an evil undesirable. And this is the good faction. Remember, the ones with the hearts that aren't black, that still beat, that bleed red. Yeah, the ones who demand you obey them, and have been for many years now.
Right now in 2025, there are children hiding in attics, probably here in Elgin right now, praying that their parents are not going to be taken.
Prove it. That's all you have to do. Just prove it. I mean, you can say that, but can you prove it? Can you prove it without staging it? Why did you add the word probably in there? Why'd you add the word probably in there?
Same way Anne Frank was.
The same way Anne Frank was. Literally thinks he lives in Nazi Germany. Wild.
Currently in America, masked men that do not have to identify themselves in
which is pretty common for government agents.
Unmarked vehicles can come pick up any brown person that speaks Spanish if they don't happen to have their identification on them. They can get locked up in a concentration camp with dozens of others in the same room. There's
the masked men. This is pretty common for government agents. They don't necessarily need to come identify themselves when they're doing things because they're government agents. They're not mall cops. They like, I understand the concerns people have. Like, they might be a government agent. They might be a trafficking ring. Like you don't know that. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, the only reason they need to wear masks is because of people like this man right here, who says that they're all evil and they deserve to be locked up or executed or whatever. I don't know what he personally thinks, but a lot of people like him think that everyone in ICE deserves to be put to death. But he, let me backtrack here. Right. If they're brown and speak Spanish. Now, remind you, they're looking for illegal immigrants in a country that borders a white country and a brown country. And the people from the white country up north don't often want to come down because Canada's not that bad. And the people who live down are in a cartel country where their politicians are assassinated in broad daylight whilst campaigning because they said something the cartels didn't like. Left is a massive ocean. Right is a massive ocean. So a little bit difficult to get people across those without the Coast Guard or Navy or whatever. I mean, it is possible. You do have refugees, immigrants, illegal aliens, unauthorized immigrants, they're being called sometimes. You do have these people slip through the cracks, but most of them shockingly, are from South America. I wonder why. So, ooh, they're brown and they speak Spanish, and that vastly, vastly, vastly increases the chances of them being an illegal alien. Yes, it's profiling, but I mean, what do you expect? It's the only country that borders the USA where people would Canadians aren't really going to be like, well, I'm going to sneak into the USA. Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. So, yes, there's profiling, but to a reasonable degree. Now, I'm not saying every ICE agent goes about it the right way. Like, I'm not saying they all go about it fairly. I'm sure there's any organization that's ever been made ever has a level of naivety, a level of incompetence, a level of corruption, but that doesn't make the entire thing wrong.
On them. They can get locked up in a concentration camp with dozens of others in the same room. There's reports they're not getting clean food or water.
So they can be in rooms with dozens of others. There's reports they're not getting clean food or water. Again, like it's pulling at the heartstrings without really much proof. I mean, he's not even trying to say there's proof. He's just saying there's reports of something.
Lights are kept on 24/7.
I mean, that's annoying, isn't it? But what, like, is that torture? The lights are kept on 24/7? I mean, what kind of lights are we talking about? Did they put them under spotlights or something?
You could get deported to a country you've never been to.
That part I completely agree with. It's been reported to have happened. I can't say I've personally seen it, but there are sources that people have been deported to countries they've never been to or weren't born in or whatever. And I do disagree with that wholeheartedly. But it's the only thing he says that I do agree with.
Chicagoland ICE detention centers were recently ordered to release over 600 people for warrantless arrests.
I'm not sure why he says this. I don't know the context of it. I'm not sure he knows the context of it. And I know that none of the people he's talking to know the context of it. Most arrests, I would presume, happen without a warrant. I mean, like someone speeding gets arrested. There's no warrant to arrest them. They were speeding. I mean, not necessarily speeding, resisting arrest or whatever, like drugs, whatever. Like, you don't need a warrant to arrest someone necessarily. So what does it mean to say that there was 600 people ordered to be released over warrantless arrest, especially when you know that there are Democratic judges who are making decisions based on the same bleeding heart ideology that this guy makes decisions. It's not necessarily because it's the right thing to do. They make. I mean, judges are fallible, and some of them are also corrupt.
It's weird seeing flags saying "Don't tread on me," but those same people are suddenly quiet when the worst attack on our rights is actively happening in front of our eyes.
I've absolutely no idea what that's supposed to mean. It's weird seeing people with flags saying "Don't tread on me," but the worst attack on our rights is actively happening in front of our eyes. What do you gain out of this? Just a hero complex? Is that it? I mean, don't tread on me. Like, aren't you saying that? Are you not saying that? Is everyone in the left wing not saying that? That's just a hero complex for you people. You're all saying, don't tread on me. You always have been.
Some say they need to do it the legal way.
Some say that. Does he say that? Does the left wing say that? Some say that immigrants need to come in the legal way. What a weird way to say that, don't you think? Some say. Like, it's up for suggestion. Like, being an illegal alien is a plausible alternative.
Legal routes are being cut. It's like changing the speed limit, but arresting people that were speeding years ago.
Meanwhile, there's tons of Democrats saying that in 2028 they're going to persecute all the ICE agents, even though it's not illegal to be an ICE agent right now. And also, I don't know what exactly, like, this analogy he's using doesn't really make sense. They're changing immigration laws, but that doesn't mean necessarily that they're arresting people who are trying to immigrate the correct way. I mean, if they are, then I have a problem with that. Like, if someone's trying to immigrate the correct way and they change the law and they arrest them, like, that's bogus to me. But I've actually not heard anything about that.
Legal avenues are even more difficult. For some, it can take 10 years and tens of thousands of dollars to get citizenship.
Oh my God. Well, here's a map of the world. from Wikipedia about naturalization, which is gaining citizenship to a country. Now, if you aren't rich enough to just buy your way in, then this is about how long it takes. Now, the lighter the color, blue, the quicker it is. And the darker the color, to black is none allowed and such. It goes from 2 years to 35 years and then not allowed. And you can see there's a huge amount of places. Like the light blue is basically 5 years, 4 or 5 years depending. And then all of these oranges and stuff in Europe and a lot in Africa, India. These are like 10 to 15 years for these, like 8 to 15 years. This is pretty normal. Especially because like, India and China. I mean, that's like a quarter of the planet's population just in those two countries. It's pretty normal. And I don't know about the cost of it for everywhere, but I would assume that it costs money to insert yourself into a country. But we're supposed to just like give them like a pool pass, just like slap a wristband on them and say, all right, you're free to stay. What exactly? Like, you can just come into America and live there, no big deal. Like, I don't understand. What do you want? Like, what do you think should happen? 10 years to naturalize into a superpower country. It's really getting in the country for 10 years. That's the hard part.
Considering the majority of the country is living paycheck to paycheck, that's not realistic.
So now the citizens of the country having economical issues is a reason for why illegal aliens should be allowed to stay in the country. Well, don't you think the many millions of illegal aliens taking jobs from the citizens might have something to do with the citizens not having? I mean, I know people are going to say, but AI. I know people are going to say, but the oligarchy. The thing is, this has been a problem since long before AI, and the oligarchy's always been a problem. So it's not like a new thing, and we've still had a job crisis for a long time. That's a totally separate problem. Civilians struggling is a totally separate problem from illegal aliens coming into the country. Why is he trying to make it the same problem?
Undocumented immigrants also.
Undocumented immigrants. Not like criminals invading the country. That's another way you could say it. Criminals invading the country. That's also true.
Commit less crime than citizens and have a higher high school graduation rate.
If you're not, it's first of all, it's not doing less crime. It's being caught or not caught doing less crime. If you're doing less crime, allegedly, and if you have a higher high school graduation rate, I'm surprised they can even get into high school considering they're illegal aliens. But if you can pass American high school, that means that you belong in the country. Like, what exactly do you learn in high school again? Nothing really. And is he actually saying? Because it sounds like he's saying that illegal aliens are better than Americans. Is he saying that we should just forfeit the country to illegal aliens then? Because it sounds like that's what he's saying to me. I mean, he's saying that illegal aliens are smarter and commit less crime. So we should let them stay because they're better than us.
These are people that help make America great.
They're illegal immigrants. They came over to the country to make their own lives great. They came to America to make their lives great, not to make America great. You think an illegal alien went to a different country illegally in order to make that country great? That's what you think. You think they went to another country with the intent to make that country great. Oh, God. All right.
Help your neighbors. Resist. If my job was to protect the public and I was
It's not.
told to stand aside and allow it to happen, I would refuse.
If I wasn't sitting here doing nothing and my job was to do something, then I would do nothing. That's like the Ron Swanson bit.
But I will do something if it helps someone else do nothing. I'd work all night if it meant nothing got done.
He's literally just said that he doesn't have a job relevant to this, but if he did have a job relevant to this, he wouldn't do his job. Wow. So brave.
My job was to protect the public, and my coworker was posting places
This is a hypothetical, I think. He said my job, and I think he meant like if my job.
for ICE to kidnap immigrants.
Object.
I would do everything in my power to keep him from getting his job back.
Wow. So brave. So you're a narc. I mean, he's literally just admitted to being a rat. I mean, I guess if you're ratting on a rat, then, I don't know, the king rat?
To the people that say protesting is a waste of time, every resource ICE uses on protest.
Oh, God. This is, this is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, the one following this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Brace yourself for maximum cringe here.
Every resource ICE uses on protesters means fewer resources for kidnapping people.
Abducting. And that's assuming that it's illegal. Otherwise, it's arresting. Not kidnapping unless they're kids. It's not that complicated. Anyway, wow, what a comment. That's right. If you can harass ICE, which he's literally saying that he's trying to waste government resources right there, and he's encouraging other people to do it. He's encouraging them to interfere with a government agency and interrupt them and impede them. I'm assuming that's a crime, right? But what an idiotic thing to believe. Is what proof is there to think that? What proof is there to think that annoying ICE means that they can't kidnap some illegal alien who's actually better? Oh, sorry, he said undocumented immigrant, didn't he? Undocumented immigrant who's better than an American for some reason. What reason is there to think that? I mean, why not make up any kind of lie? Like every time you make ICE spend extra money on you, extra resources on you, well, you're that money that's spent on ICE, all those resources spent on ICE, they could have been spent on orphaned, crippled, blind, deaf, cancer children. Yeah, and now when you bug ICE, you're taking all of the money that could have been spent on those crippled children away from them because you had to bug ICE. Yeah. See how easy it is to just make up total BS that sounds nice, but is a lie? It's real simple.
Every second ICE is distracted by me following them is a second that little girl has to escape.
There is no little girl. There is no little girl. You've made that up because you're a compulsive liar with a messiah complex. What is your problem? Well, I guess I just said your problem. But, oh my God, how cringe. He actually thinks he's some sort of hero.
When my grandchildren read about this time, I want to be able to say I didn't stay quiet. I resisted. And I want to end by asking every...
You didn't, though. You've even explained that you didn't. You gave the hypothetical of if your coworker was ratting out people to ICE that you would do this. You gave the hypothetical of if I had a job that was relevant, then I wouldn't do my job. You're giving hypotheticals, but you didn't actually do those things. The only thing you did was sit there and whine.
Everybody, where is your line in the sand? Thank you.
Thank you.
The line in the sand. The line in the sand. My line in the sand is lying. Of course, there's always lying. But usually a politician makes some ridiculous campaign promise. They don't really follow through on it. Not the way they said they were anyway. Everyone's a bit disappointed, but they expected it. Like no one really expected some sort of amazing wall that stopped all crime, right? When Trump said he was going to build a wall. No one expected anything. Really? Did they? I hope not anyway. I didn't. I mean, I didn't expect him to make America great again. Still don't. I didn't expect anything from Harris or anything from Biden. I mean, what do you even expect out of a politician who's just going to tell you anything that you want to hear in order for them to sit in a cushier chair in a bigger office? It's foolish to expect such things from them. What you can do is witness them in office and then judge from that, but to believe in campaign promises is ridiculous. And when you're talking about demographics of hundreds of millions of people, it's ridiculous as well to think that there'd be no lies. Of course there's lies. Of course there is. But the Democrats right now are going above and beyond. They're not just defaming people. They're not just making demands. They are inciting insurrection. They are commanding. They are ordering people to obey them. You can see it right there in the title. If you're quiet now, you would have been quiet in 1940. They're saying that if you don't obey them, you're a Nazi, or they'll call you a Nazi. They will consider you as a Nazi, as a fascist, if you don't do what they tell you to do. You have to obey them, or else they'll call you a fascist and a Nazi, and not like they do in a Call of Duty lobby. No, no, no. They'll call you a fascist and a Nazi with the intent of sending you to prison, or worse. That's how they mean it. They're not mad bants on the internet. They're commanding, ordering everyone to obey them. They want to rule with no questions asked. Meanwhile, they say the exact same thing of the right wing. That's the point where the Democratic Party has just gone far and above beyond what I can stomach. This man is sitting here saying that illegal aliens, what do you say, undocumented immigrants, because that sounds better, right? Undocumented immigrants are actually proper members of the country because emotions, sad feelings, Anne Frank, Nazi Germany, and they passed high school. That's enough for him to accuse anyone who disagrees with him of being a Nazi. No, I don't agree with that, and I don't agree with all of the comments. They're all glazing this guy, saying that he's very well spoken and incredibly intelligent, and I don't know. Maybe they're right. Maybe everything I just said is completely idiotic. I think that's up for you to decide. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.